Okay, good morning. We're going to go ahead and get started here. I'm Stephen Ray, representing the Department of Public Safety, and we'll begin with some introductions here. We'll start to my left over here at the end.
Wayne Johnson, CenturyLink, representing large telco.
Blake DeRuscio, Homeland Security Emergency Management, 911 Program Manager.
Joe Duckworth.
Lawrence Harkins, JS Analyst at Westcom, representing IJIC.
Sally Hall from Iowa County 911, representing Iowa APCO.
Rob Coppert from Cass County 911, representing Iowa NENA.
Mike Bryant, representing the Iowa Professional Firefighters.
Pat Snyder, representing small telcos.
George Griffith, wow. Urbandale Police Department, representing the Iowa Peace Officers Association.
And from the audience, we have
Diane Seifert.
Denny Denton, Adair County and SCI.
Tracy Bearden, Polk County Emergency Management.
Marcia Slycord, Pella Police Department.
Diana Richardson, Raycom.
Terry Brennan, Raycom.
Alice Volk-Wisner with Legislative Services Agency.
Lori Riley, Perry PD.
Michael Hauer, Iowa Communications Network.
Jeff Anderson, Marion County Emergency Management.
Terry McClanahan, Dallas County Sheriff's Office.
Tammy Rodriguez, ICN.
Stephen Rodriguez, ISIX Project Manager.
Chris Myers, ISIX-B, I'm the new SWIC.
Brent Long, Polk County Sheriff's Office.
Josh Humphrey, Iowa County Emergency Management.
Samantha Brea, Iowa Homeland Security and Emergency Management.
Andy Buffington, Hancock County 911.
Brian Madewell, Westcom.
Sandy Morris, Des Moines Police Department.
Jensen Connor, Iowa Homeland Security Emergency Management.
Okay, and do we have anyone on the phone with us this morning?
Brenda
Mark Murphy, Dubuque 911.
Hey, Mark, and we got Brenda.
Mike
Casper, Lynn County Sheriff's Office.
Could you say your name again from Lynn County?
Mike Casper.
Okay, Mike, thanks.
Amanda Roush, Story County 911.
Shane Birch, Tech Software Systems.
Hey, had a couple on at once there. Try it again.
Stacy Gross, Geocom.
Okay, Stacy, thanks. And who else?
Shane Birch, Tritech Software Systems.
Shane? And anyone else? Okay, thank you. We will move forward with approval of the June 8th minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, we have motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, and approval of today's agenda.
So moved.
Okay, we have motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, State of Iowa Administrator Blake.
Good morning, everyone. First topic of the day is the all-consuming Text to 911 project that's underway. I am passing around a map that currently shows where Text to 911 is available. And Sean, if you want to put it on the document camera, that would be great if you can pass these around. A couple just notes on the map. These are counties that have confirmed the connectivity, but may be in various stages of testing with the additional wireless providers. So I know we've talked about this a number of times, but just to refresh everyone's memory, we confirm the text capability with Verizon, and then shortly thereafter, the rest of the wireless providers schedule testing, and you test with the remainder of the providers such as US Cellular, AT&T, and so on. So We also have another map that I actually meant to bring that also shows the counties who have scheduled with us. And on that map, you would see that the majority of the counties are filled in. So I sent out an email at the end of June that kind of showed where we were at. We currently have 62 PSAPs up on text to 911. And earlier in the month of June, we did decide to go ahead and extend that contract to allow that work to continue into mid-October. So we project that we'll have about 98%, 99% of all PSAPs done at that point. So, and that's basically continuing on with the state paying for those connectivity costs through mid-October. Any questions on text to 911? Or at least that, yeah. Oh, do you have a? I can repeat it. I can repeat it. So yeah, that was Major Long from Polk County who was expressing that, if I remember right, some of the texts weren't getting to where they were supposed to go. Some were successfully going through, and I know that West and Comtech were going to be talking and have been talking ongoing to try to troubleshoot that. So I know that's the situation there, but and I also know the conversation's been ongoing. I have no idea. I initially thought that it was the issue with your second SIP trunk from Windstream. I know that got turned back up, and it didn't seem to solve the issue. So they're troubleshooting it, I know, actively. Along the lines of text to 911, we have been running for about the last 3 weeks. I think we're in the last week of the radio PSAs. Those should be coming to an end this week. That's not to say we won't run them again in the future, just kind of looking at other methods of getting the word out there. So PSAP should have received 50 copies of the 2 different flyers that we produced. Also sent you the electronic versions of those files so you can produce more if you need them. Feel free to use those at your will or at your convenience. I assume that for those counties that don't have text 911, you're just going to want to hold on to those for a little bit until you do get that service up and running. There's also information on our website if you need to refer anyone for frequently asked questions or anything like that. And we're tentatively in talks with the governor's office about scheduling a press conference probably in mid-August to talk about the service additionally. So again, not that we're quitting on the radio PSAs, just kind of doing other options and other messaging, other methods of messaging for a while. Any other questions on text to 911?
Blake,
Yep.
Are there any other counties within the state that have, besides the Verizon, have any of the other carriers turned up in any of the other counties that you're aware of?
Yep, absolutely. I'm not keeping track of that per se. So I mean, if you think about it, it's 113 PSAPs and 5 or 6 major carriers in the area. I'm not monitoring that, but I do see the go lives coming in from the other carriers as they send them. So I know U.S. Cellular, Sprint, AT&T, they've all turned up successfully in various counties. So my message from my email at the end of June was basically, I'm going to get the ball rolling. I'll let the carriers know that service is ready at a certain PSAP. They should be reaching out to the PSAP contact directly then to coordinate that testing. And really that's, again, on the PSAPs to foster that along and make sure that happens. The quicker you can find a phone of a particular service, the quicker that testing will go. They will send you phones if you don't have a AT&T phone handy or available, but trust me, it'll be quicker if you can find a phone. And they can literally be from friends, family, anyone you can find.
Blake, I have one question on the PSAs and the publicity. Is it possible to get audio copies of the PSAs that were sent out that we can distribute to our local radio stations that you might not have put this on, because they'll run them for free as public safety or public service announcements? So it would be nice.
I will check to make sure there's nothing with copyright or anything with that, but I'll certainly will if I can.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yep. Just because we didn't produce them in-house.
Right.
So I'll check on that and get them out.
Okay, thank you.
Just another note that it is after July 1st, so all the legislative changes have gone into effect. Talked about this last month as well. It's a couple months old, but we did do a program and legislative webinar back in May. That is still available on our website if you haven't gotten a chance to look at it. It's about 30 to 45 minutes long. So it just kind of covers all of the changes that went into effect now on July 1st. One of those is the merging of the wireline network onto the next-gen 911 wireless network, as well as the shared service environment process that we're going through. And really all I can say is that there is an RFP out on that, if you weren't aware. It's on the DAS bidding website. And because that RFP is out, that's really about all I can say on that matter. Just make sure everyone was aware since we had been talking about it in previous meetings. Really the last note I have is October 2nd in conjunction with the Iowa APCO-NENA conference. So the day before the Iowa APCO-NENA conference begins at the same location. We'll have the afternoon for a statewide program update like we've done the last number of years. We're going to kind of break that into two different sessions, both still in the afternoon. One will be the normal program update, what's new in 911, what's going on in the state, just a kind of status update of where various PSAPs are and we are as a state. But then also we'll be having a panel presentation on really all things service boards, 911 service board related. We get a lot of questions. Some of them legal questions, some of them, best practice questions, some of them, can we do this, some of them, 2080 type agreements. So that will be one of the sessions as well that afternoon to try to help, service boards out a little bit with a lot of the questions that we get. I imagine if, just judging by the questions we get, a lot of them are fairly similarly related, just kind of different detailed. So we'll be addressing a lot of those frequently asked questions in that session. And then the only thing I have actually relates to the grants. Bremer County at this point is going to pull their application and submit a different one next month. So there will only be 3 to consider.
Okay. Did we have anything new on the logo? Where we're at on the logo?
No, I was not able to make any other changes to that. So hoping to table that to next month.
Okay. All right. So yes, go ahead, Mike.
I just have a quick question. Maybe this will come up in Mr. Myers' part. Are we going to discuss the FirstNet process review going on?
Yeah, I think that would be better addressed by the SWIC.
In there? Okay, that's fine. You're on that committee. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yep, got it. Thanks.
Okay, so we have the GIS grants. Everybody had an opportunity to look at those. So I'd be looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve with the exception of the Bremer one that's tabled till next month.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you. Technical advisor, any updates or anything from technical people on the, or from the audience? Okay. Interoperability, Mr. Myers.
Good morning, everyone. Happy to be here. I am your new SWIC. I took over officially for Craig as of last week. So the question on FirstNet came up, so I'll address that immediately. The state has received the state plan for FirstNet. We had our meeting on discussing the pros and cons of the documents. Some of the documents are very lengthy and very detailed, especially as far as network coverage and reliability goes. And it also outlines the expansion of the network for 5 years away from the date of adoption if Iowa decides to go that route and adopt FirstNet. The vetting process was very positive overall. There were some concerns expressed on pricing plans and that they were not viewed to be as competitive in some ways as what's currently available from other vendors. However, those pricing plans are not final, and they are subject to change by AT&T and FirstNet. So, with that being said, given the potential capabilities of the network and the pricing plans, the review panel and the review committee decided to vote in favor of the state plan, and that has been forwarded to ISXB for action in the next meeting. We've also submitted some comments for it regarding pricing and a few other things that the SPOC may have more information on. I don't have those in front of me right now. As far as how it relates to 911, my viewpoint on that is that we haven't even scratched the surface of what's going to be capable of the network at this point. A lot of people have ideas on how it could be applied immediately, but I don't think we're really going to know what we're dealing with until maybe 2-3 years down the road. So with that being said, assuming ISXB approves it, the plan then goes to the governor's office for final yay or nay. As far as FirstNet is concerned, are there any concerns or questions? Yes, Mike.
I have one that was brought up to me, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to explain it properly, but I'll give it a shot. So originally, FirstNet was going to be for data only, and now we've added the push-to-talk, or AT&T has. I guess there's some concerns have been expressed to me about the mission-critical voice capability. Again, I'm not very good at this, so I don't know exactly how to ask the question, but I guess maybe it's better addressed to the ISIX people who are going to approve.
Well, I think we can touch on that now. That was covered first as far as capabilities go at the LEAM meeting in St. Louis a couple months ago. And when they mentioned that they were going to look at adding push-to-talk, which at that point when they were saying that, I had assumed it was a done deal already, which it pretty much turned out to be that they're going to try to integrate that in somehow. I asked the AT&T representative point blank what his views on LMR were going forward, and he said to me that LMR is going to be relevant for the next 15 to 25 years. So it kind of gets into the philosophy of total interoperability across the entire spectrum of emergency response. So we're going to have LMR, we're going to have broadband. People may be using LMR, some people may be using broadband, but there's going to be a way to interface between the two at some point so that everything is seamless. You know, broadband may supplement LMR at first, but eventually I could see a situation where both are used quite extensively. I just attended a webinar for the After Action report for the Super Bowl that was just held in Houston, where they actually used a broadband network and LMR concurrently, and the results were quite favorable. So that'll be in a little bit more detail during the ISXB meeting, but as far as push-to-talk goes, it's probably coming. As to what extent, it's hard to say at this point, but the quote I have from AT&T is that LMR is going to be relevant for the next 15 to 25 years. So if there's no other questions, I'll move on. The SKIP process for Iowa has been ongoing, and we've had a very large workshop at Grandview University as of June 28th to start finalizing things. I do want to thank some of our 911 members who were present. Mike and Blake and then Rob Dennert were there also, so thank you for your participation. It was very, very, very well received. I think that we are going to have a very good plan once it's released. We basically took everything apart and started over holistically and organically, and I think the document's going to be much more representative of what Iowa actually needs as far as an interoperability plan goes from start to finish. We also have, as a board at ISXB, a policy very similar to your adoption of the NENA I3 standard coming through, and I believe that's going to be voted on today. Seeing I don't have anything else written down, are there any other questions from the board? Any questions in general? Thank you.
Okay, thanks, guys. Okay, Mr. Lundstedt is not here today. He is ill. He'd contacted me this morning. I don't believe we have any legislative issues to discuss at the moment. Items for discussion. The only thing that I'm going to take an opportunity to add here is I would like to inform the council that next month will be the last meeting that I will chair for this council. I'll be leaving state government at the end of next month. And I have had a discussion with Vice Chair Seibert. We had talked about this. My term was going to the end of my third 3-year term ends in December. So I talked to him, and he was agreeable to step in as acting chair for September, October, November, and December. And hopefully that will give some time for the council and the members that are left to ponder whether they would like to throw their hat in for consideration to take over as chair, rather than us sitting here and saying next month that we need a chair and we need one right now. It'll give you all some time to think about it. And Bob was agreeable to that. So he will take over from that point to the end of the year, and then you will all have to decide who your next chair will be at that point to take over in January. So that's all I have, but I just wanted to make the council aware of what was going on, okay? All right. There are no travel requests. Well, we did. Do we have one? You did mention to me. Sally did get an email from Mark Murphy. He was, of course, a member of the council, requesting if we would approve for his travel to the National APCO conference next month. So I don't see any issue with that, having a member go. So
I don't have any issue, and I'll make a motion to allow Mark to go to the Iowa, or not the Iowa APCO, the National APCO conference is it in Denver this year? Or where's it at?
Yes, it is.
In Denver.
Okay. All right, we have a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and second. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Okay. Sally, you'll make him aware of that? Okay, very good.
I'm on phone. I heard it.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's right. Thanks, Mark. Business from the floor. Any issues from the floor anyone would like to bring up? Other issues from the council? All right. Well, our next meeting will be August 10th at 9 a.m. Back here at West Des Moines City Hall. With that, we will be adjourned.